brands that we do like their process. A normal thing that we do here is our favorite DTC brands. Why is my dog looking at me through the window? Hi, Barkley. My dog is looking at me through the window over here. So brands that you think are doing really well in this space, and brands that you do really enjoy. You know, other brands we've talked about previously were Bite toothpaste, and of course, you know, everybody loves ranch water, and a bunch of other brands. But I'm really curious as to what brands you see doing really well in this space right now, that you personally enjoy. So, like, to put it off, what are your favorite DTC brands of January 2022, at least?
Well, I'll go first and break the rules of your question, because my favorite brand coming up January moving forward 2022 is a brand that you cannot access today, but you will very shortly. And it is launching with warehouses around the world next to Amazon super warehouses, where it's going to take all of the returns from Amazon shopping, all the returns, which are usually 100% excellent condition products, and sell them at a massive discount in the US, the EU, Japan, the Far East. This is happens to be a brand I'm working with.
Awesome.
But I think the concept is great. It's not just the fact that you get something at a great discount, but I didn't actually realize that all these returns end up in the the dumpster, which is insane. Yeah, and the reason for that is that these e-commerce outfits, including Amazon, simply are not set up to have a return process and get things back in inventory. Right. It's easier and cheaper just to dump it, which is
write it off. Yeah, they just write it off anyway.
Just write it off. So that is my favorite brand moving forward. Is do
we have a name? Can you reveal?
Brand X, which I will reveal shortly.
Okay, it's a teaser.
I'm not allowed to reveal it, but I will shortly.
I like it. How about you, Barry?
This has nothing to do with ads, just to be clear.
Sure.
I've just been shopping for some stuff for myself. First, I will shout. You got me onto Dandy Del Mar. I'm going away this weekend for a week. I'm going to Turks and Caicos. The little baby moon.
Dandy Del Mar is perfect for Turks and Caicos.
I got a nice little matching shortened shirt. I'll have to send you a picture of that.
Nice. Please send me the picture.
I will. But otherwise, I've been really digging Huckberry, which is men's clothing and things. I'm buying very few clothing items, even though I just mentioned 2 clothing brands. I'm buying very few things these days, and instead of buying lots of cheap stuff like I kind of used to, I'm buying more, like, fewer quality things to wear. Even though I'm doing less, I'm not going to an office anymore, so I don't need these things. But to have a nice fitting and feeling thing, I've gotten some really great stuff from Huckberry, so they've done a good job of. And business-wise, very interesting, because they have their own brands, but they also sell other brands. It's a really interesting model that I really, really enjoy seeing that. Because like they own like Flint and Tinder and some of these other brands, but then they also sell stuff from like Lululemon. It's a really interesting model.
Yeah, no, I love it. I've been on their email list for a long time. They've almost gotten me a few times. I almost got one of these from them, but then I saw something from Anthropology. And I know Anthropology is basically bougie women's clothes and then home goods, but every now and again they got a men's cardigan, which they got me. Because I went to Duluth, which is how I found Huckberry, because Duluth was doing banners on their site, and Huckberry came up as the banner on their site, which whoever allowed that to happen, like, fired.
Really?
Fired. Yeah, you cannot allow your competitors to buy inventory on your site. Maybe they're the same brand. I don't know. Yeah, but it was good. And I got something from Duluth, and it was all wool and it was just too scratchy. So I decided against it. But no, I love that. I think Huckberry is really good. I think there's a big movement in this like men's piece. And for what it's worth, like I feel like we are getting more and more of a transition away from traditional retail And there's more and more needs where people that have some money are looking to make some expenditures. And now you're not going to the Macy's of the world, right? You're doing more and more of these things. And for what it's worth, I think there's a big opportunity for direct to consumer here because, for instance, and I was telling this to my wife last night, we're big fans of Shark Tank. We watch it. I fall asleep to Shark Tank every night.
Awesome.
I watch a couple episodes and then put on like Forensic Files because what's better to go to sleep to than murder? My point with that is there's so many good businesses that cannot exist as retail options,
right? Because
the unit economics don't work. But that's one of the most exciting things about direct to consumer is good products can find good people.
Yeah.
And those price points ultimately don't matter because if you can find the right fit of price point to consumer, things work, you know? And I found a couple brands that are just phenomenal at that. And they know their marketing and I know the upsell on them. It's gotta be massive. Wait, one of them that you hate, or no, that CJ, and I think you hate also is Last Crumb. Just the idea that they're $150 cookies. But I do love those guys.
$150 cookies? Was that a weight loss strategy?
Not. No, those guys are their experience is phenomenal. And they're selling to a specific market, right? I mean, they're doing ghost kitchen, batching, cooking like twice a month, doing it all on a drop. Like they're basically Supreme, like drop model for cookies. And I guarantee you they're doing extraordinarily well. If they're not an 8-figure business, I'm gonna have to have a conversation with them.
They have mastered hype. They have a hype specialist, right? There's a whole other industry, like just as we're doing this, talking about like a lot of ads and social stuff. We gotta hook up with those hype people to like generate like just to basically all they talk about probably is like how do we restrict supply so we can increase demand and that's it. Like how do we get someone famous to talk about it? That's all they're doing.
Yeah. How do we make this how do we make it harder and harder for people to buy?
Yes.
Just ask a recovering copywriter for the financial info product industry.
Yeah.
I'll tell you all about it.
So getting to two brands that I really love. One of the biggest success stories of the last year and a half, and I saw him drop them as well, and I'm going to piggyback on this, is Crossnet. I think these guys are so awesome. And if you're in Twitter, the guy that runs Crossnet is a big Twitter guy. He's there very public about what he's doing. And basically, this guy invented a sport and got it on ESPN. And there was an interview with him and Rabah where like I think got a delivery from China. And the entire container was sold to one person while it was still offshore. Like he sold the entire container to basically somebody else took it at the dock. Like that is crazy how good it is. And for those that don't know, Crossnet is basically somewhere between Foursquare and volleyball. And he's expanding with stuff. And it's just an amazing example of somebody finding something and making it work and branding it really well, running their business in a very good bit of self-control. I think, that is phenomenal. And since then, what he's been able to do PR-wise, like I said, he got his tournaments on ESPN. He's been on Ellen. I'm pretty sure he's going to be on Oprah's greatest things list. Like the guy is doing phenomenal business. And one of the signs of success is you can see that the Target house brand, where they basically do in-house drop shipping to rip people off, has a knockoff of Crossnet that I saw, which I think is like once Target's house drop shipping knockoff brand is aiming for you, you've made it. So good success to them. And another business, which I think we've highlighted maybe once before, but I definitely wanted to get back to as far as DTC brands go, is another one of our friends that has been in the chat, but Obvi. I think they're doing extraordinarily well. Our man Ash is CMO over there. He'll be on the show hopefully soon. But what I love about them, and they're collagen, it is some supplement business. But the way that he's branded it, that hype, that vibe, that feel, and the fact that they're embracing other platforms and other modes, like adding apps and all sorts of other stuff, is just so incredible. Like, I mean, I'm not a customer, but I'm a fan just of how they're conducting business. And I think there's so much to learn about that stuff. As somebody that has done 8 figures in revenue in the supplement space, 8 or 9 figures, like seeing somebody come in 4 years after I left and do all of the things that I wish I could have done, that just the infrastructure wasn't there to make it happen. Like, I failed at running the app. I failed. Half the things he's doing are things that I failed at doing, but like the world is there now. And it's just so exciting. So myobv.com. Anyway, those guys, super great. And just to blow up some smoke for one quick second, the collagen world was really brought to market on the back of a brand called Sugar Bear Hair. Now, Sugar Bear Hair, to get you guys a little behind the curtain, was a little bear with powder like sprayed on it, right? And it was like a collagen supplement brought to you by the Kardashians.
Right.
Now, here's the fun thing with Sugar Bear Hair. It was a whitelisted dropship product brand. It was literally a brand that they were getting the bags for 30 cents. They put them in a tin and charged $30. And one bag could fill like 10 boxes. And they went 8 figures basically in 12 months. Like, it was insane. And I may or may not have been a part of a couple of these things, but really shows you all it takes is this hype, is it takes the positioning, it takes the business model. And what I really wanted to ending with that, and yes, somebody mentioned a Commodore Coffee. I think we're going to have to get those people on here too. Maybe because, like, by the way, if you're a coffee brand, this is a DTC coffee shop show. I could use a sponsor. Why not? But the business model, customer service, and positioning is so much more important than audience, bid type, creative type. Some people worry so much about moving little pieces that they never get to move the mountain. And I think that was one of the biggest lessons I ever saw, because they were one of the first brands that basically just did influencer marketing, broad, and retargeting. And that was it. And because they were on the back of Kardashians doing whitelisting influencer stuff 5 years before Savannah Sanchez made it popular at the last week of the 2021. I learned how to whitelist influencer stuff from them. And like, just the amount of innovation that came from how they were solving their business problems, and they crushed, and they basically exited and they're done. And mazel tov to them for doing it, because it proves that what matters is the customer. They found a customer, gave them an experience, and made them feel good about something that kind of has it's hard to prove the collagen is having that big of an effect. And they did it well. And I think MyObv is doing it really well too. And it's just awesome to see that stuff, because they put their time and their effort into what moved mountains. And I think there's a huge lesson for most DTC brands there.